How's it going, everybody? I hope your day is going well. All right, we are live on YouTube according to this. Let me do this right here. There we go. All right, we are live on YouTube. So, we are running into a little bit of a problem though. As you can see by this message over here. Can you see that? Huh. For some reason, you guys can't see that sometimes. But according to this message here, if you can see on the rightmost, rightmost side of your screen, it does indeed say that some platforms are experiencing outages. So hopefully, ideally, the stream looks fine for you guys, but it may or may not, according to this message. But either way, let's just get on into it. How's your guys' weekend? I hope it went well, at least better than mine. Hey, what's up, comrade? How's it going, my dude? Sorry it took me so long to see your message. I was trying to do stuff on the stream here. Why did that go all the way over there? Why did that go all the way over there? That doesn't make any sense. I clicked expand or whatever the name of that button is that's supposed to make it full screen, and it shoots all the way to the opposite screen. That doesn't make any sense. Anyways, but what's up, comrade? I hope your day's going well, man. Sorry to those of you guys who usually watch these streams at 3 p.m. Basically today was crazy. I was supposed to do a bunch of stuff in a different order than what I did, which caused me to get backed up and make it to where I couldn't stream till now. So either way, we're live now. Yeah, nobody's talking. Okay, I'm here by myself. It says nobody's watching. Well, now it says there's one watching, so I'm assuming comrade's back. Either way, seeing how nobody say anything, I'll talk. I mean, that's kind of the way this thing is supposed to go anyways, right? I'm supposed to be the one talking. Yeah, so today I have finally gotten to the stage in my recovery with my neck to where my physical therapist is okay with me lifting weights again. Now, big asterisk here. He is okay with me lifting weights as long as I do no overhead movements. No, I'm here. All right, for sure, comrade. I'm glad to see you're still here. No overhead movements. I need to, when I do bench, have my feet on the bench so I do not strain my lower back, and it also kind of forces you to use less weight. So yeah, no overhead movements, no shoulder movements. Now obviously like bench incorporates a little bit of shoulder, but no like side lateral raise, front lateral raise, overhead military press, none of those. No tricep overhead press either. So yeah, feet on the bench, low and slow, lightweight, slow movement, control the weight, that kind of thing. Low and slow, no shoulders, feet on the bench, no overhead movements. And then I've got another with rear delts. He wants me to specifically, so I'm allowed to still do rear delts, but do them on a bench. So that way I can not mess up my neck. So yeah, but all of those things aside, I'm able to do push-pull legs all week this week, as long as I don't injure myself. You know, it's a big asterisk. There's a lot of things that I'm not allowed to do, but I am able to work out again. So that's part of the reason why I'm so backed up and I'm so far behind today and late on everything. But, you know, it is what it is. We're here now. So, but I went to the gym early this morning. It was dead. I think this is, I guess, the season where nobody goes to the gym, which is weird because you would think, or at least I would think, wintertime would be when there's the most people in the gym. And well, I mean, my thought process behind that is that the most people would be in the gym during winter because you can bulk up and gain a lot of weight and you don't have an expectation of being shirtless. So you can get fluffy, so to say, which means you can lift heavier weight, which means you can potentially build a little bit more muscle and then lean down for the summertime. But I guess, like, I don't know. It's just, to me, I'd expect there to be more people. Also, it's cold, So there's less things to do outside. And because there's less things to do outside, I would think you'd be inside in a gym, right? I don't know. There's less people now than I've seen in a long time, and they're starting to advertise a lot. So I'm assuming that a lot of people canceled their memberships. I don't know. Um, but yeah, so that was weird. Also, another weird thing is that there's an apartment complex, but not really. It's like a duplex would be, top and bottom floor or separate apartments. I don't know what you would call it's like a quadplex. But it's like three quadplexes right beside each other. Like there's 2 apartments on the bottom floor, 2 apartments on the top floor, and there's 3 of that building. So an apartment complex, I guess. I saw a sign in the yard, which was weird because I've never seen that before. I've known they've had openings before, but they never seemed to advertise. And I saw a sign. I was driving by too quickly, so I couldn't read it. But I saw a sign in the yard, which I've never seen before, and they covered up the actual sign of the name of the apartment complex or whatever they would call that. So I think they might be selling the entire apartment complex, which is kind of crazy. I basically what I'm saying is I think my area of the U.S. is finally starting to die down a little bit. People are getting on hard enough economic times that they're actually selling stuff, which is weird because lately the property values have been insane because everybody's buying. If somebody's selling, that might be an indication of hard economic times to come, which means the property values might drop, which would be good for me because I'm trying to live here but live cheaper than what it currently is. The other problem is though is that he might be selling, because I know people that own property here. He might not be selling because of hard economic times. He might be selling because of hard government regulation times, which is to say that taxes have gone insane here. Where I live currently, rent is crazy high already because there's so many people trying to move here. But it's gotten worse because the government has stepped in and raised everybody's tax value, which ordinarily would be fine, except for the fact that the only reason why yes, there is a certain amount that's supply and demand of why it's so expensive to live here. There's a certain amount of that. But also, if you look at the inflation index, the inflation in the US just this year alone, and the year's not over, we've got 2 more months. Just this year alone, the inflation index we're up in inflation by 15%. So if rent raised by 15%, the government's like, oh, you guys are getting greedy and you're making more money, so now we need to tax you more. But that's like the bad way to look at it. The only reason why rent's raising is because people are trying to earn the same amount of money. Even though it's not the same dollar amount, it is the same value amount. That is why rent's going up. But the government's making it worse now because they're raising everybody's taxes. And I mean, at least the state government, my personal government, your government may be handling things differently. But basically, I'm saying all that to say this, that I think that guy's selling the entire apartment complex because he just can't make a profit. Because I've looked at living there before, and usually the government, like a mom and pop who own a house and are renting out the bottom floor, even that my local government is like super hard regulating on. So yeah, I would think they're even harder on him or the owner of that apartment complex. And I think he's just not able to make ends meet because his rent was fairly reasonable. It was like $1,400, which is reasonable for the area it's in. And if they raised his taxes to a ridiculous amount, then, it is what it is. Like, just tell you how bad it is here when it comes to taxes. Essentially, most people price it out to where 1 month's rent covers the annual taxes. So that tells you how expensive it possibly is. If he's charging $1,400 per tenant, that means he's got 3 buildings. That's 4 apartments per building. So that's what, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's 12 times 1,400. That's I can't do math in my head like that. That's a little bit too complex for my brain right now. I'm too out of it. Let's see, 1,400 times 12 apartments. So that means they're potentially, if he's not being selfish, they're potentially charging him $16,800. I'm going to assume the government's going to round up roughly $17,000 a year to own that piece of property. So yeah, that's ridiculous. That's a good, fairly good new slash fairly new car a year to own a piece of property. That's insane. And I think that might be the reason why he's coming out of it, because usually that's what they charge. If he's selling, it's probably because they're upping his taxes to a point where he would have to up the rent, and he's afraid he won't be able to attract people at the new price. So they might be charging him. That might be what he was paying. They might be trying to charge him more in taxes. I mean, and the only reason why I assume it's a tax problem is because I know people that pay. I know a lot of different people that pay a lot of different types of taxes in this state, and the taxes have just gone insane. Hey, what's up, Angry Opinion? Where I live, we have a housing crisis. We are a pretty big tourist destination, so a lot of landlords have been renovicting. I've never heard that term before. People where I live, you can't ask people to leave without a reason. Or, here for a while they had an eviction moratorium, but I think that's pretty much ended where I'm at. But I guess that would be a good way to kick people out. Is just say we've got to renovate, and the renovations we've got to do require us to cut off water, and you can't live in this house with no water. So that might be, I guess that's a loophole. That's a loophole if I've ever heard of one. So I get why you're using that term. But hey, what's up, Angry? But yeah, no, I've luckily here, it doesn't seem like too many people are getting kicked out, aside from people that weren't paying rent during the eviction moratorium. Those are the only people that I've really heard of getting kicked out. It was funny because somebody was complaining to me about getting kicked out. And I was like, wait, why are they kicking you out? And he's like, oh, well, during the pandemic, I couldn't work anywhere, so I couldn't pay them. Oh, that's why. You couldn't pay them, so they're kicking you out. Like, I hate to be that rude about it and that blunt about it, but that's why they're kicking you out. It's not because they don't like you. You didn't pay your rent. That's how that works. They've got to pay, even if they own the property fully, they still have to pay taxes, of which you're basically paying for them. And so if you're not, then that's money they're having to pay out of pocket. And or there's a potential that they have a mortgage on it. So you're basically, I know several people that own homes that basically they own that house by having a tenant there. Basically, they make no money. You're basically paying off their mortgage and their taxes. So eventually in 20 years, they'll own that home for free. I know numerous people who are doing that. And so if you're not paying rent, they are basically, their cost of living, their living expenses have now doubled. So people in that situation are kind of screwed by this eviction moratorium. So, and it's a real cluster foxtrot of a situation. I can't think of a better way to say that, but yeah. Without significant notice, unless it's for renovations for the safety of the people who live there. So a lot of landowners are evicting people with little to no notice. They are actually just converting the living spaces into Airbnbs. Yeah, and that's another problem. There are a lot of those too. My friend was given 2 weeks notice to be out. She took it to court and won. Got herself 3 months to find a new place. Nice. Yeah, hey, that's part of the problem here too, is that, well, our problem is what I think your problem is going to become. Our problem was there's a lot of people that hey, what's up, Huss? Hey, nice to see you, man. This place where I'm living now was a good tourist destination during fall. And And so it would get really busy then. And then it seems like basically all the people that enjoyed seeing this place in the fall have now decided to move here. And so that's what's created our problem here. So that might be your future problem, is that you run into too many people moving there. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, for where I'm at, we haven't had that problem when it comes to reno evictions, but I mean that does suck though. But hey, what's up, Huss? Um, what was I saying? I was saying something else. How are you, Klepper? Doing all right, I guess. The neck problem, I don't know if you were up to date on the neck problem, but I was having neck problems, went to physical therapy for the past 3 weeks or so. And today I was given the okay to this week start to do regular weightlifting again. Obviously with a bunch of things that I can't do as well, but overall my neck is good enough to start working out again. So today was my first day back in the gym. So yeah. I got held up from getting here earlier since I was fishing up some work. Hey man, like fishing up some work, like school work, or like you're getting a job? Because if you're getting a job, congratulations. If it's schoolwork, I'm sorry. No, but yeah, no, I didn't start streaming until, let's see, how long have I been streaming? I've only been streaming for like 16 minutes. So you aren't too late actually. But I did start streaming late. I basically, because I went to the gym, I didn't really account for that time in my schedule. So I went to the gym, and then everything else throughout the day got progressively pushed back further and further and further, and then, so did the stream. So schoolwork, unfortunately. Oh man, I'm sorry. Yeah, man, you're just put it this way, 1 year closer. You're 1 year closer to being done, man. Or you're getting to be the end of 1 year closer. No, man, I feel you though. I definitely did not enjoy school when I was going through it. I'm supposed to go back. Oh yeah, that reminds me. I don't know if I told you guys this, but part of the thing to do with why I'm living where I'm living, right, involves school. Well, I had a while ago, I had applied to a fairly prestigious school, and I had never heard back, and I was wondering why. I'm not going to name the school because I don't want to be bad-mouthing the school, just in case eventually at some point in the future I do get into said school. But I think I actually found out why I never heard back. Like most colleges, you expect to hear a rejection or an acceptance. This school didn't even give me a rejection. And I just thought that was weird. My parents thought that was weird. My colleagues thought that was weird. And I was like, yeah, I don't know what's going on. They just straight up ignored me. Like they didn't reject me or anything. And I was wondering why. Well, I found out that this college in particular, again, gonna remain nameless, but you might be able to find out who they are if you care enough to look into it. I found out that this college in particular is requiring that all of its students, point blank period, be vaccinated or get weekly COVID tests that the college isn't paying for, you have to pay for. I then dug into researching it even further and found out that only 5% of the entire school is unvaccinated. That 5% wholly lies in the graduating senior classes, like of whatever program they're in. So basically, I found out that they're basically saying you have to be vaccinated or you're getting your degree and moving on. Also found out that this applies to students that are entirely online. There is a student going to this college who doesn't set foot on campus ever because his degree is entirely online. He's a senior, and he has to get a weekly COVID test to go to school there, even though he never sets foot on campus. Every single class he does is online. Don't understand how that works. But anyways, so I personally think, again, now I never got a letter back, so I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that the reason why they never messaged me back is because I don't remember them asking anything about vaccines or COVID, but if they did, I definitely back whenever this whole vaccine thing started, I basically said, I don't get the flu shot every year. I'm not gonna get this. Um, Now I'm a little, and I think that would have been if they said anything about vaccines in the questionnaire or whatever. I think I would have said the same thing. I would have been like, no, I'm not going to get it. So I think that might be why I never heard an acceptance or a rejection letter back from this college. Just my suspicion. Because again, it's kind of weird. Again, usually you hear of an acceptance or a rejection letter. Never got any one of those. So that might be the reason why I think that might be what's going on is because if they reject you because of a medical status, then they might be able to get, like, there might be a legal case there. So I think that might be why I never got a rejection. They might want to reject me without rejecting me, because if they actually do send me a letter rejecting me, that might become a legal problem. So, and the reason why I think that is, on top of that, is because all of my marks, as in my test scores and my grades, were above the well above the minimum requirements to get into the program I wanted to get into at this college. So they would have no other reason to reject me. I think that might be why I didn't get a rejection letter. My suspicion, again, I can't confirm it because they never gave me a rejection, but I did find out that basically the college that I wanted to go to is going a little crazy. But anyways, long-winded rant over. I think that's why. But that also is influencing where I'm currently living. So right now I am back into a situation where this living situation is a little precarious. But anyways, um, there is a way around it as a landowner. If you offer the current tenants another location to live temporarily and free, you can evict them. My buddy has to move all his stuff twice in 2 months because his landlord took that route and told everybody in the building they had to move to his cabin for 2 months. LOL. Jeez. Yeah, man. Well, here's the thing. I don't want to blame the landlord. I am prone to not blaming the landlord in that situation. I am prone to blaming the government. But I mean, here the thing is, like, the information, it's not like there's no way to know for sure the whole situation, because the landlord might be doing that for a reason that is more justified than it appears from the outside, is basically all I'm saying. But yeah, man, that is some shady stuff that those landlords are doing. But I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I would encourage owning property as I actively rent. But I would encourage owning property as much as you can. But I get it; it's too expensive. I mean, like I said, living here, you're talking about, like, bare minimum, you're looking at like 300,000 to buy a house, and it's like, yeah, most people can't do that. So most people can't live here. Like, so I get it, but at the same time, like, if you can find a place to live that you can buy the property to live there, then you don't have to worry about a landlord. It's basically where that goes. Online degree and you need a vaccine. That really doesn't make sense. Well, no, you don't need a vaccine. But if you don't get the vaccine, you, out of your own pocket, have to pay for a COVID test every week. Not every 2 weeks, not every month, every single week. And he's taking online classes. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. But hearing all that makes me kind of glad that I didn't get an acceptance letter. Because if I would have gotten an acceptance letter to that college and then found out that I have to do all that craziness, I wouldn't be attending anyways, because the more you push me to do something, the more I'm not going to want to do it. And I am not paying for a weekly COVID test. So here, 1 second, I am getting a call from my father. So let me mute myself and I will be right back. All right, we're back. He just wants me to call him back when I'm done streaming. So apparently, it might be something important that he wants me to focus on the conversation. Anyways, finally made it to fall break. Nice, man. Congrats. I hope you enjoy your little respite period. Let's see. What was I was gonna do something, but I can't remember what I was gonna do. I got too distracted by talking, ranting, and then the phone call. Nice, comrade. I still have 2 weeks before break. See, Huss is on the program that I was in high school, where he gets a break closer to Halloween. I didn't understand why your fall break was like right now. That I remember that conversation, but anyways, feels bad. My first semester is almost over. Nice, man. Well, feels bad for Huss, or feels bad for you that your semester is almost over. I don't understand the context. Actually woke up to some good news though. My employer has decided they don't want to participate. Don't want to perpetuate hiring employees under an unliving wage. So everybody is going from full-time hourly wage to what? Oh, to salary. Okay. Increasing our business minimum wage from $14 Canadian an hour to $35,000 a year to better reflect the minimum living wage in my province. And no one lost their jobs. Nice. Yeah, that's the last part of what you said there is the key part. And no one lost their jobs. That's impressive. Well, here's the thing, that it's kind of one of those backhanded compliments. That's the best like term I can think of. Obviously, it's not a compliment, so maybe that's not the best. Here's what I mean by that. If they're able to do that, why didn't they do it earlier? Like, thank you, job, for doing that. But if you were able to do that, why haven't you done that earlier? That would be my question. I mean, again, that's my. I'm basically making $140 or more a week now. Nice, man. Congrats. Now, if luckily where I'm living right now, we still have a minimum wage of $7.25 an hour. Where I'm living right now, there's the minimum wage is still $7.25 an hour. That is insane. But free market capitalism has kind of worked in our favor where anywhere you work, there's a place right now that the place where I was deciding I wanted to work because I would just enjoy working there, is paying $10 an hour, and they base pay, like starting wage is $10 an hour, which is above minimum wage. And they have people, like they have a waiting list. Like they actively have a waiting list of people that want to work there. And places that don't have people that want to work there, aka like Taco Bell and McDonald's, they all have signs saying we're hiring for $14 an hour to, like, I think one of them says $14 to $20 an hour. So the free market has kind of worked in this area in the sense that they're offering more and more money to try and get people to work. So it's kind of working, but it's also a bad situation because there are a lot of places closing because they can't find people to work. So luckily they're offering more money now, and that kind of is, working out. I probably bet there will be a bunch of work on the last week. Yeah, usually, even if it's not a bunch of work, it's a lot of studying. So yeah, a lot of work for you that you get a big great. Whoa, wait a minute. I just realized that these two died. Something is going wrong here. Something is going wrong here. How did these two die? What happened? I don't understand what happened there. Luckily, this game has, because so many people have connection issues, because this is intended to be a mobile game, luckily, if I just exit out like I just did, I get my resources back and can just redo it. I don't know why that failed there. I'm glad I caught it though before I lost that resource that I had started using there. Anyways, that $7.25 an hour, that $7.25 an hour is lower than our minimum wage in 2005 here. Yeah, I know. No, our minimum wage has been $7.25, I think, since around, like you're saying, like 2005. I think it's been that low for that long. Um, it's not gone up. Now, I think even when I was in high school here, most places were paying like 10 something. Now most places are paying like 14 something. But just Googled it. 2007, our minimum wage was 7.50 an hour. So in 2007, your minimum wage was more than mine is right now where I'm living. Yeah. I mean, my thing is as much as I don't like it, and I think they to now I'm saying like we're getting paid. Most places are paying like $14 an hour right now, or offering $14 an hour right now. Even that's not really a living wage here because, like I said, most property you're talking about $300,000 for like a blank piece of property with no house on it. Like it is ridiculously expensive to live here. And most of the people moving here are really old people and or people that have kids that are out of the house. And so there's a massive influx of money and people, but a whole bunch of money and people that don't necessarily need to work those minimum wage jobs. So that's why there's such a vacancy that they're offering so much more, almost double what minimum wage is. So, it adjusted. So and I agree with the idea of the market fluctuating and adjusting for itself instead of the government mandating something. I personally, as a more anarchic kind of leaning individual, I like that. But at the same time, I could understand why in some places, if basically every market is different, and so sometimes the government does need to step in. But I kind of like that the government hasn't had to step in here, in this particular case. But that gets into slight political conversation that I don't really care to get into. But yeah, no. I think I'm gonna look it up right quick. I don't want to give away where I live necessarily, but I want to look up how long the minimum wage has been this low. Let's see. I want to see how long it's been this. If it'll tell me. Oh, so it's 7.25 an hour for most jobs. According to this, where I live, the minimum wage for waitresses and waiters, people that are waiting tables, is 2.13 an hour. That is so stupid. If you're a waiter or a waitress, they only have to pay you $2.13 an hour. And then obviously you get tips on top of that. But that is insane. Anyways, I was hoping it would tell me when it became 7.25 an hour. Let's see. I was hoping to find it, but apparently this is hard to find information. It keeps coming up with the same article. So where I'm living right now, in 2017, there was a bunch of legislation put forward trying to raise the minimum wage, um, raise the minimum wage to be $15 an hour by the year from 2017 to 2022. That was the legislation that was introduced, but it's not coming up with how long it's been 7.25 an hour. When it was raised. Oh, here we go. Wage was last changed in 2008 when it was raised 70 cents from 6.15 to 7.25 an hour. So our minimum wage where I'm currently living has been 7.25 an hour since 2008. So after your minimum wage, our minimum wage increased to 7.25 an hour, and it's not changed since then. Yeah, in Canada, that's not a thing. Minimum wage is minimum wage. They aren't allowed to subside your wage with tips or commission. If a company fails in the long term, it's the company's fault, not the, I guess you're going to say, employees. Yeah, that, to me, that's crazy. How can you justify paying your... See, I mean, but that gets into a whole, this conversation gets into a whole cultural thing where I agree with the rest of the entire world where tipping is kind of less of a thing. Like in America, you're expected to tip. I would rather you just raise the cost of the food and you pay your employees. Like, I don't know why, like, tipping should, like, I agree with getting rid of tipping culture 100%. Not the employee. If the employee is bad, it's the business's job to find a new employee. An employee shouldn't worry about going home with $2.13 an hour because the company is failing. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I don't understand why. I don't understand how you can justify paying a waiter $2.13 an hour. Like, because here's the thing. Honestly, at $2.13 an hour, if you suck as a waiter and you're not getting tips, honestly, just stay home. Working an 8-hour shift and you get 16 rounded up to like $20 for an 8-hour shift because nobody tips you because you suck. I mean, you'd obviously have to suck really bad for nobody to tip you. But like, the idea of that it is possible for somebody to work an 8-hour shift and only get like $20. That is insane to me. But I would do it. If I could snap my fingers and have it happen, I would do away with tip culture in America anyways. But obviously when you're paying your employees $2.13 an hour, obviously we have to keep tipping because we're paying for that employee to be able to actually work there. It's just insane. The states, LOL. Yeah, bro, I don't understand that. That, to me, $2.13, that is insane. People in Brazil make more money playing RuneScape than waitresses. Not really, but it is possible, yes. Because here's the thing. I will say that my sister for a long time worked as a waitress at a fairly, like, not an upscale restaurant, like not like a $50 a meal restaurant, but like, or $50 per person per meal restaurant, but like a $20 per meal per person type of restaurant. Slightly upper scale, but not like a fancy restaurant. And she came away with, like, on the weekends, she would come away with like $400 for 2 days. So like, realistically, I mean, they're obviously not making $2.13 an hour as long as they're getting tipped. But the idea that that's even possibly a thing, like, that's just stupid. I agree with you. Like, I don't understand how that's, like, that shouldn't be a thing, but I don't know, man. And my thing is, like you're saying, it's a business model thing where, like, I don't know, man. That frustrates me that they can get away with paying people $2.13 an hour. Like, no, that's just, well, and the other thing that makes it worse, this makes it worse in my opinion, which is that it used to be when my sister, back in the day, when my sister, she's older than me, obviously, when she was working as a waitress, you had to pay out of your tips, you had to pay for the busboy. You had to pay for the busboy to bus your tables. So like, and part of that money came out of your tips. Now I've heard it's even worse. Not only do you have to pay the busboy out of your tips, you have to pay the bartender out of your tips, and you have to pay the, what's it called? The hostess at the front. all of those employees are getting commissions on your tips. How does that make any sense whatsoever? Like, no, like I can kind of understand why wait staff gets paid less because they're the ones getting the tips. I could kind of understand why a bartender would get paid less because they're making tips on the drinks. But the hostess and the busboy should just be paid. Like, why are they getting cut in on your tips? That makes no, like, next thing they're going to make the chef get part of your tips and pay the chef less. Like, that just boggles my mind that that's a thing. Like, I don't, like, that's a rant that I don't need to go down. I've kind of already gone down it, but that boggles my mind that because I know people that work in the waiting industry now that they said that literally the bartender, the hostess, and the busboy all get cut in on their tips as a waiter. I'm like, that does not make any sense to me at all. But anyways, I'm getting pent up a little bit. I can feel my back getting tight because I'm like yelling. I'm not yelling, but I'm angry. It just aggravates me. I used to work at a grocery store and I used to work at a grocery store that had a no tipping policy. No matter what, if you're tipped, it went into the register. It's just freaking stupid. Like that's also stupid. Like if a stranger feels like they should tip you, then that would piss me off. Like, I'm sorry. Like, if they had a sign that says no tipping, like here's the thing. If you walk out those front doors and some random stranger hands you money, it's not a tip. It's just them handing you money. But because you're in a store and some random stranger hands you money, oh, now the company gets it? That doesn't make any sense to me either. That's just freaking stupid. A guy tipped me $7 once, paid a $10 bill for a bottle of water and told me to keep the change. And the company got to keep that. That is freaking stupid. Well, here's the thing that makes that even more stupid. On top of the fact that there's a no tipping policy, which I find stupid. The other thing that's stupid about that is at the end of the day, I don't know if you had to do this, but somebody has to balance the registers. So when they see that there's more money in the till, that might not even make it to the final. Like, the idea would be that the company would get the money. But at the end of the day, if you've got the wrong individual counting the money, whether that be a manager or whatever, then they could just pull that out and be like, oh yeah, no, the register's correct. Like, that's just, that just drives me crazy. Anyways, I've been ranting way too long. I was supposed to mix up a protein drink. So let me mix up a protein drink right quick and down it. And then I'll go back to talking about stuff, hopefully that's less aggravating than what we've been talking about. Anyways, 1 second. Oh yeah, I did come off of, I changed proteins, if you can't tell by the color of this protein container. I did change proteins because of my liver function. I was told to come off of creatine, so I had to buy a special protein powder that does not have creatine in it. And I will say that this protein, I would not recommend. I'm not trying to diss this brand, but to anybody who's considering working out that may watch this and is considering buying a protein, this protein has almost no flavor at all. So would not recommend this from a flavor aspect, but if it has the macros that you need to hit, I guess go for it. But this protein has almost no flavor. Like it's not like a no flavor to where it's like okay. It's like a no flavor to where it's gross. Like, you know, if you took like a bottle of Coca-Cola and you put like a whole bottle of water in that bottle of Coca-Cola, it would taste gross. That's kind of what this tastes like. And I've never been able to get like a low enough concentration of water to make it taste like normal. It always tastes watered down. It's kind of gross. I don't know. I wouldn't recommend this protein to anybody who's considering it. Just saying. I would recommend a different brand of protein, but it's one of the few brands of protein I've been able to find that has no creatine in it. Honestly, I'd recommend most people who try and lift just get on creatine and not not worry about it. Oh, I've got Discord messages. Why do I have Discord messages? Do not switch. Who is this? Enthusiast are deep. Okay. So that looks like spam. How do I block this guy? Block. Block. Report spam. Submit. Done. So yeah, to anybody who might have seen that, do not spam me because I will report it as spam. I don't even know who that person was. So if that was one of you, let me know. But I'm sorry I reported you for spam. But that looked like spam to me, so reporting it as spam. They had a way around that. All tips went under the actual cash, so it wouldn't be counted with the expected cash balance. See, that just doesn't make sense to me from like, because I've worked at stores before and like balancing books at the end of the day is like super like balancing registers at the end of the day is super important. At least here in the States, there's like, I mean, it's a serious crime if you start fudging numbers because they start like accusing the business of doing like shady stuff like that. You'll get in a lot of legal trouble if they like do something weird like that. Like basically if your till came up short, obviously you're getting fired. Like that's just gonna happen. But if your till came up in excess, there's gonna be that's also gonna look bad. So yeah, but what was bad about it is you didn't count your own till, so you don't know if your till's messed up. You've just got to assume or be paying active attention all day to making sure that it's gonna be good at the end of the day. So yeah, I don't know. That's just a weird. I don't like I said. I just don't understand how that policy works. Maybe I'm just dumb and I'm not thinking about it enough right now because I'm on a stream and I'm like trying to talk and all that. But that just doesn't make sense to me how they could like not do that. I don't know. That's just weird to me. I've also never worked in a store where they have like active returns. Like management always did returns on a separate register. So I guess returns would make like numbers like that weird. But at least like I've never handled returns basically is what I'm saying. But yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. Anyways, time to drink the nasty protein. Yeah, 1 second. Sorry, I have to switch water around in my mouth to try and get that flavor out of my mouth. It's just not good. Like I hate to say it that way, but that protein is just not good. What is the protein? If you don't mind having creatine, Body Fortress, they sell it at Walmart. It actually tastes pretty good. I don't know if it's necessarily the best as far as like all the other stuff, as far as like ingredients and all that, but as far as taste, it's one of the better proteins I've ever had in my life. But that stuff that I just showed you, like I said, it just tastes watered down and gross. I don't know. Just would not recommend. um, let's see. Okay, we gotta do. I'm trying to manage these two accounts, and it is not easy to do right now. All right. So this account needs to do, I need to check here and then the other place. But yeah, what was I gonna say? I forgot what I was gonna say. I don't know. All right, we got those two done. What are we doing here? Dungeon Divers. We got 13 hours left on Dungeon Divers. I just clicked the same thing twice. Artifact Enhancement. I need to check there. Not really worried about it. This account that I'm on right now, this guy over here, it's not going to be able to complete the fusion. I just don't have the resources on this account to complete the fusion. This account over here that's running Clan Boss right now, that's the one that I'm worried about actually completing the fusion on. So yeah, that's this account is just kind of going along for the ride right now. We're just kind of doing the same similar stuff to earn excess rewards for things we would do ordinarily anyways. Bang, bing, 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 and bink. And did we do our daily stuff on this account? We have not done our daily stuff on this account, and the reset is later today. All right. No. Why am I clicking on that again? We need to go here, and we need to go here, and we need to go here, and we need to go all the way down to right here, and then we need to go here, and then we need to go here, and then we need to go right here. Wait a minute. This is the team I use? That doesn't look right. I mean, as long as it wins, that's the only thing that matters. But this does not look right as far as a team I would expect myself to be using. We need to watch this. I'm going to watch this and make sure that this is operating as it should be. As long as it wins, that's all that really matters. But I would not like right there, like this guy died. Like I said, I didn't expect this guy to be on the team. So it's weird to me. Anyways, yeah, so that ranting part of a conversation being over, what else is going on? Yeah, so I just want to go ahead and apologize to the three of you guys watching here. The streams have been at weird times lately. Excuse me. It's just a total, like, life right now has been kind of crazy, so I've just been kind of doing a lot of stuff during the time in which I should be streaming. And you know, like that life just happens. And also between all the other things going on in life, there's been periods where my neck's been so bad that I'm basically just laying in bed all day. And you know, when you lay in bed all day, you're prone to falling asleep. So sometimes I like there's been days where I didn't stream and I didn't send a message in Discord because I was asleep when I should have been streaming. So you know, it be like that sometimes. But yeah, so just want to apologize for the inconsistent streaming schedule lately. But yeah, you know, I mean, it's kind of one of those things that it's like, I also, if I'm gonna be moving at any point in the near future, when I move, that's obviously gonna give me like weeks where I'm not like, it might not be weeks necessarily, but at least a fairly long period of time where I'm not gonna be able to stream because I've got to tear down the entire setup and all my other stuff, pack it all up, do the actual traveling to get to where I'm going to move, and then set everything back up. And on top of setting everything back up, moving my internet locations, which that obviously shouldn't be too big of a deal. And then ideally I'll have a job already lined up, but then getting a new job where I go to, and you know, that adjusting hours, which will make it to where I have to stream at different hours too. So, you know, basically I'm planning on moving here in the near future, possibly, most likely. But, you know, I mean, that creates conflict with having a consistent streaming schedule. But now that the gym is such a key part of my life, I need to travel to where I plan on moving before I actually move there because I want to check out where the gyms are. A job, I can pretty much like tolerate working pretty much anywhere. But the gym is important. Where I go to work out is important. Unfortunately, the place where I was considering moving, there was a place I had lined up for a short period of time there that I thought I was going to move to. But I found out that basically they're like within like a 50-mile radius. There is no gym within a 50-mile radius of this place that I was planning on living that has a pool. That just boggles my mind. No pools. No pools anywhere. And I kind of get it because where I was planning on moving, like almost everybody has a pool. Obviously, where I was moving, I'm not rich, so I wasn't moving to somewhere that has a pool. But almost everybody down there, like if I made friends with well-off people down there, I could probably get access to a pool. But like none of the gyms have pools, which just like I'd expect there to be one that has a pool, or like and from what I could tell, like most of them didn't have a sauna or a steam room. It was weird because a lot of the gyms were like the gym I go to right now isn't a Planet Fitness, but it's like in between, like it's a Gold's Gym. So it's in between a Planet Fitness and like a dingy man cave, bunch of rusty weights kind of place. It's like in between the two, which is perfect for me because I don't like the dingy, rusty place, but I also don't like the like basically not designed for like the dingy, rusty place is for people that want to throw heavy weights around. Planet Fitness is kind of for the people that like the grandparents that want to come in and lift a little bit of weight and don't want people yelling, and it's like not a serious place for people that are trying to lift a lot of weight. Whereas, and like mine's right in between basically, which I like. That is like the perfect gym environment for me. But everywhere down there, like they don't like, even the Planet Fitness down there is like a dingy, rusty weight room. Like I don't know how it qualifies even to be a Planet Fitness because it looks like no other Planet Fitness I've ever seen. Like almost every Planet Fitness I've ever seen has like that purple theme to it. Aside from the front of the building, none of the stuff inside is painted purple. So I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, so basically that kind of, it shouldn't have, but that kind of discouraged me from moving there. So, but yeah, basically what I'm saying is that if I find a place I'm considering moving to, I will need to do some traveling to go there and check out the gyms, not just pictures. Because pictures sometimes aren't even up to date, or if they are, might make it look worse or better than it really is. So traveling and potentially moving. I might have to take an extended break from streaming for who knows how long. So, but yeah, another little side tangent rant there. But yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna check Discord right quick because nobody's talking in the chat. So, did move clans. So that's a thing that has been actively a problem. So I hope that I don't get a virus from like I didn't click on anything aside from the report button in that chat or in that message. So I hope I didn't get like a virus or get my account like hacked or whatever. But I don't know. People can do crazy stuff with technology, so I don't know. That's the first time I've gotten like a spam message though. Bang. Okay, so we did win. I didn't expect to win with this team. But we did win. So I guess we're good on this account to go ahead and do this and let her run. And then this team is almost done too. Perfect timing. But yeah, aside from that, I think I told you guys on the last stream that I started reading the book series that I was reading again. I'm not going to spoil it just in case anybody tries to read the book series. I don't think I would recommend most people read this book series because it is very violent and very detailed in said violence. But like this author, this is like a, what is it? What's the term for it? This book series that I'm reading is like a medieval fantasy. I'm trying to like a high fantasy genre book. And obviously, because it's like high fantasy, medieval kind of fantasy, obviously there's war with swords. And so it is very violent. But I found out that this author, his other like main series that he was well known for, is horror. Based off the war scene descriptions, I can see why. So yeah, wouldn't recommend that most people read this book series, but I found out like there's the main character, there is his love interest, there is the old wise man trope that is his grandfather, and then there is the magic aid person. And then there is let's see, what's the other, like what's another description of, there's the like young apprentice type person following. And then there's obviously like his guard that is guarding him, even though because he's the main character, he's a bad A and like doesn't actually need it. But it is what it is. The the wise man character, which is his grandfather. So it's more than a wise man character. There's also like a loving familial type of love there. Has just been mysteriously and apparently isn't the right term. It appears as though has been magically ended and head separation from body fashion. So yeah, very like abrupt and shocking, and they are in a hurry, so they like didn't have time to like actually take care of like the body or to investigate. They investigated fairly well, but they couldn't find anything, that kind of stuff. So yeah, like one of the main character, like literally like that old wise man character is, they don't know, like the main character doesn't know it's his grandfather, and doesn't know that he's like the magic old wise man kind of trope until like later, but he's like literally one of the first characters you're introduced to other than the main character, and he's now dead. So it's like I don't know, it's like, man, like like, no, why do you have to die, man? Why do you have to die? Like that's what I'm going through right now as far as that book is concerned. But yeah, anyways, ranting about a book over with. We are at the hour mark, which does mean that I'm getting to the end of this stream. So yeah, I think I'm going to check the time. Let's see, we're past the hour mark. So nobody's leaving any comments, so I'm going to assume I am good to go with ending the stream here. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, no comments. All right. Yeah. So on that note, I will see you guys on the next live stream. Ideally, as long as nothing crazy happens, tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And to those of you who may be seeing this and don't already know this, I do usually stream, as of right now, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope to see you there. Sag, is that what that's supposed to say? Later. All right. Yeah. So yeah, on that note, I'll see you guys on the next live stream. Hope you have a good one. Peace.